Okay,
Okay,
Mike,
let's do this.
welcome. Thanks for agreeing to do this. I don't know how many factors I'm going to be able to convince, but
Well,
I appreciate you being willing.
I'm on board, so let's do it.
Okay, so I spared no expense and got you Domino's
Okay.
wings. My apologies, nobody else was open, so
All right,
we'll make them
so,
work.
This looks good.
Well, to start off, maybe the first question is, how do you do with hot food?
I don't usually like food that's super hot, so I'm kind of a mild spice guy.
Which makes you even more of a good sport for coming.
That's
in.
right. I'm not used to this.
So this is the lowest spice level. It's
Okay.
just like your generic, actually really tasty hot sauce from the people who make the hot ones.
Okay, good.
That's not too bad at all.
No, not bad at all. Has a little bit of kick to it though.
It does, kind of a good flavor though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on the topic of food, I'm curious, what's the best restaurant in Salt Lake City, in your opinion?
Well, I like these restaurants that are called churrascarias. They're Brazilian
yeah.
steakhouses. So I like Rodizio Grill because they give you a lot of different things to eat, from the menu, and you can get a lot of different cuts of meat.
Yeah, I went there once and they having all sorts of wild stuff. It was
Yeah.
boar and it was, I think they had snake. It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
So you pronounced that the right way. I assume you were a missionary or something in Brazil?
Yeah, I spent 2 years down in Brazil,
Tell us about that.
southern Brazil. Had a great experience down there. It was missionary work in terms of teaching people about Jesus Christ. So had a lot of good experience in helping people to learn more and help them to kind of see some opportunities for their own lives to be better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, that one didn't have much flavor at all, if I'm honest with you. That was pretty mild.
No, and that didn't have really much kick to it.
Mm-mm. Okay, that's ramping up.
Okay.
All right, next question. Tell me about the hardest class you ever took as a student.
Well, the hardest class for me was organic chemistry. And the reason for that is that I like to think of things and have like kind of a logical pathway to really understand things. And the thing that I didn't like about organic chemistry is I tried to understand the concepts of, well, if you do this, you put this next to this compound, it's going to create this kind of environment where it will want to convert over to a different organic compound. But I tried to conceptually learn the concepts and the principles behind it to make the decision. So when I get to like, okay, this should happen like this because of that, the logic behind that didn't carry very well. And I needed to end up doing more memorization, and I just got way behind that. I should have just memorized the cookbook recipes of you do this to get that to happen, this to get that to happen, this to get that to happen, rather than understanding the concepts. I should have just taken it from the standpoint of this is the recipe to get there.
So many people told me the same thing.
And I hated that because in the engineering scheme of things and physics and things like that, it's a lot more logical. I can understand how magnetism affects this, and I've got some formulas to work with. I didn't have that with organic chemistry.
It's just
So it was hard.
memorization.
Yeah.
This is the worst grade I got as an undergrad.
Yeah.
But part of that was because the dude put the class on the reading day. So he said, exams on Thursday. I assumed that meant Thursday of the finals week. But it was finals, it was the Thursday of reading day. So 6:30, and he put it at 7:30 a.m.
Oh,
so
man.
7:30 my alarm goes off and my buddy in the class is texting me saying, "Where are you, man?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Anyway, so I showed up halfway through, hadn't studied, worst grade I ever got. But live and learn.
Yeah, well, I just had a hard time with the class, period, concept-wise.
Cadejo, that one's pretty good actually. Question number 4 for you is, do you have a favorite crystal structure?
Well, I don't know if I have necessarily a favorite, but just from the standpoint of simplicity, I like the face center cubic
Mm-hmm.
because it's all tightly packed. And also, from a metals perspective, it's got some, it's easier to see things like the slip lanes, and it's easier to envision what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
and it's easier to make calculations on some of that. And so I like the face center cubic just from the basic simplicity perspective.
Coming up on question 5, I want to know, what hobbies do you have?
Okay, well, I like to get out in the mountains, do some hiking. We go hiking with some of my sons quite a bit.
A great place to do that. We are right next to it.
Mm-hmm. And we like to go in connection with that, like to go look for wildlife. So we take binoculars with us, we take some spotting scopes, we have some adapters for putting your phones on the scope to get some good pictures and get some good video. And so we like to go also in the winter, you see more of the wildlife, it's easier to find them.
Yeah.
And so we have a good time doing that. And I like to fish a little bit, don't get out that much, but those are a couple of the hobbies that I get to quite a bit.
You live in the right place for that. We're here at the University of Utah, and if I turn that camera around, you'll see that it's a big bulbous valley surrounded by mountains. And University of Utah is tucked right up in those foothills. So where you and I live, kind of near just south of the university, a few miles, right next to the mountains. You can be up and in minutes. In a couple minutes, you can be up there. So great place for that hobby.
Located for that. Yeah, it's a terrific place to live.
Okay, question number 6 is, tell me something that you don't think people know about you while we enter the back half of the sauce lineup.
Okay. So, well, I mean, this is kind of a weird thing, but I don't sleep with a pillow. I think that's kind of
what?
And the reason is that when I started traveling a bit for doing research and going to conferences and things, I found that I would get to these hotels and they would have these big giant fluffy pillows and they were too high.
That's worse than no pillow.
And so it's worse than no pillow. And so I decided, look, this is dumb. Why don't I just get rid of, I have to sleep without a pillow, and when I'm away from home, it's really not that bad. And then I'm not feeling like I'm out of whack when I go places and travel and stuff. So
starting to feel it. It's starting to get a little spicy through it. We've got the ghost peppers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the back half, we're going to dive into mushroom mayhem. All right, let's see how this one. I've tried this one before.
Hot? Not too bad.
No, not bad. It's like a barbecue. It's kind of sweet.
Really?
I did not expect that.
Well, do they have these ranked and like?
Yeah, increasing, they quantify the capsaicin present in it. So it's Scovilles is the unit of heat that they use. I don't know how the measurement takes place. Maybe they just count the capsaicin molecules or something. The concentration, as it were. But yeah, these are ranked in order.
That's pretty hot.
So let's say what's got.
Definitely got a lot of kick.
Tomato habanero and scorpion pepper, so it's not messing around. But this one doesn't state the capsaicin, to look it up. Okay, question number 7. 7, 8, 9, we're almost there. 7, tell me the coolest part about the research that you do here at the University of Utah.
Well, I think, research has, it's fun to try and look at some problems and come up with some solutions for companies. And, I'm in engineering because I like the applied side of things and trying to figure out if they have a problem, how do you solve that, and then also trying to be innovative and come up with something new, right? So a couple of interesting things that kind of tie in with that is a project that we did for Rio Tinto. We looked at some of their copper refining, and we went in and looked at the kind of the microstructure of their impurities inside of their impure anodes that they refine in the refined copper that comes, the anodes come out of the smelter, and you have to refine it electrolytically. And so we looked at that from the perspective of looking at where the impurities came in from the smelting operation and what that meant to them downstream in terms of the types of impurity particles that get generated as these anodes dissolve and the final purified cathode electrodes are formed. So we came up with some cool understanding of kind of what was happening there that they didn't know before. And So I like to, come up with solutions, because that helped them to look at the upstream end of it and say, okay, if we want this to happen, we need to do this. It was compositionally based in some respects. So if the composition of this is too high or this is too low, this is the resulting outcome that will happen downstream. So that was kind of a fun project. And another good example is some new things that we've been working on to develop some separation technology. So we've been working a lot on rare earth element separation technologies. And so we've come up with some cool things that in solution, we can put the solution that has dissolved rare earth elements in it and do some separations of those without using like a chemical exchange in one case. It's kind of like a membrane, but it's not. We're in the process of patenting it and stuff, so I won't go into detail, but it's really a cool approach that can separate, to a reasonable degree, but it doesn't involve any chemicals. It's very, very low energy, and so that allows you to like recirculate and do things with a lot less energy than the current techniques, and also not with the chemicals that you need in the current ones.
Okay, you are at hot sauce number 7, and I'll tell you, this one's about as hot as what I would eat for pleasure. I think beyond this, I'm not buying it to have a good time. Alright, the least favorite sauce of all.
Ouch.
Number 8. The bomb. The bomb evolution, actually. I had the bomb, I haven't had the evolution. No need to be a hero. Put a small dab of this one, I'm guessing. Oh dear. That's what I went with. Was more than I was looking for.
That looks like a lot.
That was more than I was looking for.
I'm gonna dip mine in a little bit of.
No, that's not a bad idea.
It's like control not having too much on it.
Oh boy. Alright. Back in the lineup. Nice knowing you, Mike. See the inside of this one.
If your face starts turning red, I'll understand.
It's not awful right up front. It is definitely getting worse. Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
I don't even see the video, but I'm
Wow.
definitely sweating.
Ooh.
I don't know mess around.
That is hot. But it didn't have very much. Wow.
That's a hot
goes
one.
a long ways.
Yeah, that's a hot one. I am feeling it. Okay, 2 left.
Wow. Okay.
I forgot to ask a question on that one. Tell me, do you have any new interests you've developed in the last couple of years?
Well, one thing that's been kind of interesting is we've looked at this rare earth element processing stuff from a little different perspective also, to look at the way you operate the equipment. Whew, still burning.
That one will mess around.
So, trying to look at, from the equipment standpoint, how you can manipulate by how you operate things to get better separations. So that's been kind of fun. And then we're always looking for new things, but we've done a lot of examination of different ways of doing these separations. It's been kind of fun.
Cool. Okay, whew. Wing number 9. You ready?
Wow, that was the roughest for sure that we just did.
Yeah, that was vicious.
Really.
This one's so charming and nice. Look at this thing. Taco vibes only. It looks like it's all pastel and nice colors. Let's see what it does to us. This one's made with ghost peppers, serrano. Those don't seem too bad. And yet, it's got Reaper. Never mind, it's got Reaper. That's gonna suck.
Wow.
That's okay. I'm gonna pour a little bit of that off. That's still a lot. Careful, that was real liquidy.
Okay.
Alright, here goes.
I'm not sure I'll even taste it. After the last one, I'm kind of recovering.
It's just kind of vinegary. The taste of that's not really strong, very vinegary. Alright, that's not anywhere near as bad as the long, but I'm still feeling it. Okay, question for number 9 is, what's your favorite class to teach?
But I like teaching this class called low temperature chemical processing, because it covers a lot of techniques that you can use to separate metals, extract them, separate them, and it's a reasonably advanced class, so it's not introductory level, and so we can go into quite a bit of detail. I like doing that. I also like teaching some of the introductory stuff. I think it's fun to help students get started and understand the basic concepts of, in the case of the classes I teach, metallurgical processing.
Very cool. Alright, how you hanging in there? You ready for the last dab?
The last one wasn't as bad as
The bomb was definitely worse.
I'm still recovering from that one.
Yeah, that one lights you up. Alright, here we are. We've made it to the end of the gauntlet. One left. Oh boy. Alright, we're gonna do it.
Wow. Wow. You're bold.
Okay. This is the Apollo Hot Ones Hot Sauce. Highest Scoville rating. A lot of capsaicin in here.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, that's an eye water. Wow. Okay. While we're finishing up these bites, tell me why students should think about coming to the University of Utah to study material science. That was hot.
Yeah, I need a little cooling here just a sec.
I'm like turning red. I can feel it. It's hot.
It's hot. It's hot. It's as hot as the number 8 one. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here at the University of Utah in material science and engineering. I think that the university as a whole is such a classic, outstanding university with a great environment, a lot of dimensions to what you can do as a student here on our campus, and also the opportunities outside of campus. Need another
It's so
That's
hot.
hot.
Yeah, it's no joke.
That is really hot. I didn't have very much, but it's hot. It's way hot.
Oh, it doesn't mess around.
But I think that the other thing is that material science is such a great area, and working with the metals and metallurgical engineering, because when you think about where we go as a society and the things that we need to do, it doesn't matter whether you're talking about we may think of our phones or our vehicles as things that we go to all the time that have some very, very interesting materials, but it goes so far beyond that. You talk about the things they're doing in medicine, new procedures and things. A lot of those are enabled by materials, and so materials are in so many things. I mean, everything that we touch is a material, but there's so many opportunities on all fronts for different kinds of materials, and I've specialized in the metals end of things, and there's so many opportunities in all kinds of industries. Like anything you can think of almost that makes something has materials, metals, and needs to really understand them better and to develop better materials for the future. So I think there's a credible future for materials, and and studying materials. And so the University of Utah is an outstanding place to do that.
I certainly agree. Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining today. Hope you survive.
Yeah.
Hope you have a good
I
recovery.
probably have a burned tongue for a while, but
Holy cow, it feels like it's burnt. It feels like I just drank like lava. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. Thanks for joining me. We'll have you back and do it again maybe.